am proving once again that all you people that wanted me to change my intro are indeed wrong. Welcome in. What do you think, Father Anthony? Should I do that intro?
That was painful. That was painful and confusing.
Painful and confusing. That's what my next book about the Mass is going to be entitled. The Masses from my childhood. Painful and confusing. None of your Masses, though. Your Masses.
No, of course not.
What two descriptor words would you say for the Masses that you, every single Mass that you have done?
Enlightening and pious.
Enlightening and pious. A book by Father Anthony. Liar. You know what?
And a liar.
No. What we would do is just like, like fancy priests that are in a religious order, they have letters after their name. You would be from the order L.I.A.R.
The order of liars.
The order of liar. Father Anthony, for the people who have never heard of you, i.e. the people who don't live on Twitter, who is Father Anthony? We haven't done that in quite some time.
Oh, yeah. So basically, other than being kind of popular, mildly popular on Twitter, I'm just a parish priest in Western Pennsylvania, Diocese of Pittsburgh. I'm a parochial vicar, which means I'm kind of like one of the helper priests of a 7-parish cluster that we're trying to make one parish. I've been ordained for like 2.5 years, and I've got fancy curly hair, and that's about all you need to know. So
when a priest says that they've been ordained for 2.5 years, do you include in that the time that you were ordained a deacon?
No. So apologies to all deacons listening, because if you're a deacon, you're ordained. So in that case, it would be 3.5 years. But I've been ordained a priest for 2.5 years.
Father Anthony, you've been around me for long enough now that you can already see where I'm going. My follow-up question was, why do you hate deacons? And you just started apologizing immediately.
Well, there's also like a weird kind of like quasi prejudice against deacons. Like some priests will be like, they're not clerics, but they are. They're clerics. They're ordained. And I know some of my good deacon friends, even my permanent deacon friends, are a little touchy about that sometimes. So I'm not that guy. I love deacons. They're great. Church can use deacons. They're good.
Just as a PSA for all Catholics listening, even if you're not Catholic and you're listening, walking up to someone and telling them that their priesthood or their vocational choice is a lie, unless you mean it as a joke on a radio show, that's the only exception, then, my friends, you should not say those things.
Yeah, those are bad things to say. Why would you do that? Why would you be that mean?
Yeah, okay, so I know a few people that have either been through or are currently in deacon formation, and it takes a long time. Most of these guys are full-time working Monday through Friday, and then they go to these Saturday classes, and a lot of dioceses require their wife to go, which is weird because it's like saying hey, Father Anthony, do you want to go to college with me and you can sit with me the whole time, but at the end you don't get a degree? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that would be okay. Yeah, we can put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's what a lot of places do with deacon wives. So it's like those people make a huge sacrifice. Don't walk up to them and say, "You're not real."
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I'm very real. That's not what we plan to talk about today. Today we plan to talk about a few things. One of which being, a lot of things being, Taylor is sad. Okay.
Oh, Taylor.
Taylor is sad. Hashtag make Catholicism fun again. So I've been promoting for the last 2 weeks that for the first time in Forte Catholic history, a bishop is coming onto the show. And I was really excited about this. And it was going to be a grand old time. And then I got an email that some things happened in the diocese that this bishop is in that are of a higher concern than a local Catholic radio show and podcast with 19 listeners. I'm just kidding. We have 20. Okay, so some very concerning things came up that they're having to take a break from doing public appearances. So I did not make this bishop up, I promise you. I can already hear people saying, there was never a bishop. You're not that cool.
Well, Taylor, because I'm a priest and therefore it's impossible for me to lie. Let me affirm you. This same bishop was going to be on my podcast, Clerically Speaking, and he also had to cancel that appearance. So it's a bummer.
It is a bummer. So, all in all, I'm sad that it happened. Both, first of all for myself, and then second of all for the situation. Like that was the order that my sadness went in. So pray for this bishop, and then also, apparently, I'm not going to be. I was leaving a little cliffhanger at the end of the last 2 episodes. I'm going to leave a cliffhanger again. This bishop will come on. Summer of 2019. Sometime this summer, he's going to come on the show. Don't worry, I won't mention it the end of every one of my shows, like a certain other podcast does their same shtick at the end of every show, saying that a certain someone's going to come on their show and then never does, and then finally did, and they still go on with the shtick. Anyway, that's a whole different thing.
Absolutely.
So today's guest, I am excited. We're just going to do like good, bad. That's what we're doing back and forth. Back at the Seek conference at the beginning of the year, I got to meet the ladies from Blessed Is She. I mentioned that on the show, and I've been trying to get one of the ladies on to the show for quite some time to talk about their ministry, talk about what they're doing, talk about how they're just like winning everything Catholic women in the church right now.
Yeah.
And she very graciously, after I said like, hey, look, the original guest was supposed to come on today. Do you want to replace a bishop? And she said, that sounds like a terrible idea. But then she said, never mind, I'll do it. So she's gonna be great. We're excited to have
Good.
Beth Davis on the show in the second segment. Okay, so bad thing, good thing. Now another bad thing within a good thing. Father Anthony.
Yes.
I do this Ministry Madness bracket every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love doing it. This year we're going to be doing our 3rd annual one. And right now was supposed to be when I was announcing it's live right now. Go vote, okay? I've been working for weeks on this thing, pulling names together. If you're not familiar with what this is, friends, I put together a bracket in March, just like March Madness, with 64 Catholic leaders from across the U.S. and maybe Canada. And I let everybody that listens vote on who would win in a legal boxing match. It is not a popularity contest. Who would win in a legal boxing match? If you vote based on popularity, you will instantly get 1,000 more years in purgatory for every vote that you did that way. The Lord knows your heart. So, it's supposed to be live today. I gathered all the names. I did the seating and everything. Worked on it for hours. Went to plug it into the website that I usually use to build this bracket. And the homepage says, this website is now closing. As of December 31st, 2018, we will be shutting down the site. Okay, so I just told you that. I want you to be the sleuth Batman for a second.
Oh, okay.
What was my first thought? Let's maybe first 2 thoughts. Whenever I went to a website and it said, we are closing on December 31st, 2018.
Maybe your first thought was, did you think a bad word because you were frustrated?
I might have thought it, but I didn't say it.
Okay. Another thought after that is, I guess I'll have to find a different website.
That was thought like 3 or 4.
Okay.
The second thought, Batman, I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm going to repeat the question. I want you to listen very carefully.
Okay.
Our website is closing on December 31st, 2018, year of our Lord. Okay, what's wrong with that picture?
This website is hosting other websites. Why would I have no idea?
What's the date today, Father Anthony?
Today is March 12th, 2019.
So I visited a website today.
Yeah.
That said it was closing December 31st, 2018.
Oh, that's like, when like a building's closed, they put up signs, but the building's still there, but you can't get inside it. That's what the website was. You didn't actually go to the website. You saw the closed storefront of the website.
Well, here's the deal.
Okay.
You need to ask your brother.
I don't know how websites work.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I don't know how any technology works.
Once again, preeminently going to my punchline. Thank you very much. Your brother works with all kinds of media. Now,
yes, he does.
I would venture to say that he would not compare buildings closing to websites closing. Usually, when a website closes, it says it has an error page because they're no longer paying for that site. When a building closes, it's like, okay, you're being evicted on December 31st, 2018. At midnight, we're demolishing it. Like, that's not what happens.
I don't know.
It's okay. Okay, so anyway, I went to set it up. And like you said, I went and searched for all these other different options. I couldn't find a good one. I'm still working on it. So hopefully by next year, hopefully by next week.
Okay, good.
It might take a year. I'm very upset. So
okay, can I tell you why you should be upset?
Oh, I have plenty more reasons, but do go on.
Right. But let me tell you why I think you should be upset. Because this bracket where you have various ministers, various professional people in the church fighting each other, imaginatively, is more famous than you are. Because I came across this bracket, I think even before I knew really who you were. And I remembered it. And when you sent me an email talking about the bracket, I was like, oh, that's you. Taylor Schroll, you're the one who does this bracket. So it's really sad that this thing that is way more famous than you are is not working right now.
Yeah,
so you should be very upset about this.
It really is. And what's funny is I sent a message to me and my co-hosts are in a group me together. And I sent a message today, very early this morning, when I was like finishing up who was in the bracket. Hey guys, I'm putting together the bracket. Will you give me some suggestions on who you think should be in it? And first of all, how many suggestions of names did I get in that today from my wonderful co-host, Father Anthony?
I didn't see any.
That's because there weren't any. Everybody,
we all ignored you.
No. I was not ignored. I was berated. Because old John Blevins also did not know that I run this Ministry Madness bracket thing.
Right.
He has heard about it way before he ever heard of me. And I will dare say that this, my friends, is the entire point of why I do the Ministry Madness bracket. It is the greatest idea I've ever had. It is taken off. People don't even care who I am, but they love the bracket. And then later, like I've loved conversations where I'll be walking around, I'll be at a conference. Hey, have you voted in this Ministry Madness bracket thing? And I'm like, nah, the admin's not allowed to vote. I'm like, wait, what? You're so cool. I'm like, you thought I was an idiot 4 seconds ago. So, yes, I'm very sad that it's not working. But hey, the championship for March Madness, this is all built around March Madness, is a little bit later this year. So we're just pushed a week late. Hopefully I'll have it ready by next year. You, my friend, and also John Blevins, are contestants this year. We'll talk about it more.
I'm really excited to win.
You're not going to.
I'm definitely going to win. If people are smart, I'm going to win.
People are smart, which is why you're not going to win.
I looked over those names. At least all the ones I recognize, I could totally beat them up.
Okay, so we do have a priest bracket. Do you have any idea? Let's see if you can understand notes at all.
Okay.
You know how a bracket works, right? So there's like seeds, okay? First seed, what? Just in like regular brackets. So the first seed, who are they going to go up against in the first game? First matchup.
The last seed, right?
The last seed, 16. So you are seeded with someone that you know particularly well. I like being able to pick and pit people against each other. Do you have any idea who you're going up against in the first round?
Oh, am I going up against Father Harrison, my co-host?
You are going up against Father Harrison, the co-host.
This is really exciting because he's really short. I love Father Harrison. He's way smarter than me. He's way holier than me, but I could totally beat him up.
Well,
that's an easy win.
That's for the people to decide, okay? Okay. There's another thing that is being set up currently. It will be live by the time this podcast goes live. I mentioned this on last week's show when I let the audience decide one of the main things I'm doing for Lent. The one that we came down to was that I'm going to do a fundraiser on the show for charity, all based around the shaving of my beard at Easter.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh no! Wait! You're like grabbing your face and your head.
I'm not okay with this.
Why are you not okay?
Because that's your only facial feature. Like who will you be? I won't be able to recognize you.
It's actually kind of interesting because a year ago this weekend was the last time I shaved all the way down. It's the last time anyone saw my face. And what's really interesting is like the people that have met me within the last year have never seen my face.
Yeah, and it's been going great. It's been going great.
Hide, Taylor, hide as much of you as you can. So what's crazy? Okay, so here's what we're doing. Part of this whole Lenten thing is almsgiving, right? So what I'm doing is I'm putting this GoFundMe page together, okay? And it is to fund a few charities. All the proceeds for this. I'm not getting a dime from this. All the proceeds from this are going to a religious order that I discerned with, that actually helped me discern that I was called to marriage. For a year, I met with them once a month, worked with them every other week or so, and they really taught me how to discern and how to decide this vocation. If I would have become a priest, it would have been with this religious order. They're called the Brothers of the Beloved Disciple, small, newer order, offshoot of the Marianists out of San Antonio. I love those guys. They have done so much for me, and they've done so much for ministry in San Antonio. So a third of the we're going to split it into three. A third of it's going to go to Brothers of Beloved Disciple. The second third of it is going to go to Ablaze Ministries, where I work. No, it does not go directly to me, I promise. But just furthering youth ministry and supporting youth ministers and growing this next generation of youth ministers. So if you want to support that. The third one, I haven't decided yet, and I'm looking for suggestions from co-hosts, from the audience, on where this third one could go. Obviously, it's going to be to something Catholic. I'm not going to do adopt a dog or something. What do you think, Father Anthony?
I mean, you could just put all that money in patreon.com/clerically speaking. No,
that was I knew you were going to do that, and that's not a charity. Ironically enough, y'all give most of your proceeds to charity.
We do give us our... Okay. So let's think of a real idea. What could you give money to that could really... used right now? I keep thinking of clerically speaking. I have no other ideas.
Well, thank you. So this is a second question that I asked my co-hosts in GroupMe today, and they were about as helpful as Father Anthony just was. So here's what we're doing. I want you to go to fortecatholic.com, and on the homepage, you will find where to donate for this. And what we're going to do is if we get $500, that's the first tier. If we get $500, I'm going to shave my beard down to not completely to my bare face, but to a 2 weeks beard, really neatly trimmed, almost all the way down. Okay. If we get up to $1,000, I'm going to shave down to the Breaking Bad goatee because I've got the bald thing going on.
Yeah. Okay.
I've done it before. Well, when I've worn that before, people said, "Wow, you look different." And the second thing that they said was, "This makes you look buffer." I'm like, "Okay, I'm cool with that." Focus on my goatee and not my belly. Okay. If we get up to 1,500, I'm going to shave all the way down to the baby face, complete face. Okay. People are going to meet me for the first time. All right. You'd think was the end.
Okay.
But it's not. Wait, go ahead. What if what?
What if, let's say it gets $1,500. If I throw another $500 on there, will you shave just to your mustache?
Okay.
Instead of just your face?
Yes, I will. Because the final thing is if we get to 2,000, Father Anthony, I will be shaving down to what I have called, what everyone who has ever seen it called. I have done this for one day in my life, and I almost got fired from being able to do any work in the church ever. Because when I have just a mustache, I look like the creepiest human being that has ever walked the planet. So guys, if you want to raise money for charity and also make me look as dumb as I possibly can, if we get up to $2,000 over the course of Lent, all this is going to charity. I will shave to the creeper stash, and I will keep it for one entire week, Father Anthony.
Yes.
Okay. And then for every $100 after that, every $100 equals a day that I keep the creeper stash for another day, and then eventually get down to the baby face. So
have you discerned this beforehand with your wife, perchance?
No, she has no idea I'm doing this. You know when she's going to find out? When she
When
listens
this
to the
episode
show.
drops.
Yeah. This is how my wife and I communicate mostly. All the important things go through the podcast because she can listen while the kids are quiet. It's just great. It works for us. We're going to be married forever because God says we have to be. Okay.
Those are the rules.
She's stuck to me. Okay, so that's what we're doing. ForteCatholic.com. I'll have a prettier link next week because, again, the internet hates me. But what we are going to do right now, my friends, is we are going to go take a short break, and then we are going to come back with the one and only Beth Davis. That's not true. There are probably lots of Beth Davises.
It's a real common name.
It's a real common name. But the one and only Beth Davis, who works for Blessed Is She, she's going to be coming on the show right now. Don't you go anywhere, and don't you dare think about a creepy-looking man in a mustache. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Forte Catholic. This is your host, Taylor Schroll. And I am still looking at an iPad with Father Anthony Sciarappa's beautiful mug on it as he dances to the music. But also joining us dancing to the music today is Blessed Is She's own Beth Davis. Beth, how are you doing on this wonderful afternoon?
Hey, friend. I'm doing great.
I'm glad to hear it. So here's what happened. I told the people in the first segment that we were going to have a bishop on today. So I said, okay, bishop can't make it. Who's the next best person we can have? And I said something that was both true and a lie. I said we're going to have somebody great. Beth is going to be on. The lie was I said the one and only Beth Davis was going to be on the show. Father Anthony, you did some research on that, and what did you find?
There are well over 30 Beth Davises.
It's true.
This might go into the hundreds. I can only count so many. I ran out of fingers and stuff. But we did decide that you're probably the best one, though.
What? Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really quick Google search, but we're pretty sure you're the best Beth Davis.
We've pulled hundreds of sources, and we have decided that Beth Davis is the best Beth Davis.
You know, there was actually another very prominent Beth Davis in the Catholic ministry world when I was coming out of college. So this friend and I had a joke. She would call me the Beth Davis just to differentiate, you know. Oh, is this Beth Davis? No. This is the Beth Davis, which is why now it's my Instagram handle.
That's great.
Which is funny because most of the time the Beth Davis or real Beth Davis is the fake Instagram account for the other person. So the fact
is that right?
Yeah. It's like, I'm the real Father Anthony Sciarappa. It's like, no,
right.
Anthony Sciarappa is the real Anthony Sciarappa.
See, now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I rarely am, but it might happen. I assume that if you become like a professional Catholic, if you enter into the ministry in some kind of way, and there's someone already in it with your name, you have to defeat them in ceremonial combat. Is that true or false?
I've not heard that, and I've never been challenged. So yeah, I think that's a rumor.
Whatever other Beth Davis was in ministry was obviously terrified.
So, Father Anthony, that you do realize that is something that you can't talk about publicly. Like us in the Catholic world, in the ministry world, we know that rule. We just can't talk about it.
Sorry, I forgot this is a podcast. Sorry, my bad.
It's proven by the Beth Davis we're talking about now. I have never ever heard of another Beth Davis in the Catholic world. So what our Beth Davis did is she came onto the scene, did this ceremonial combat, won immediately, and the terms of that agreement were that the other one had to be completely wiped from the internet. The website closed. We had another website that had to close down today, and Beth Davis now reigns supreme.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, Beth, the real Beth Davis, only Beth Davis, Beth Davis, blue check mark. I've seen some people do that as well. They don't have a blue check mark. They just write the word blue check mark after their name. I feel like you should do that. So tell us a little bit about you, because after I give the setup, I forgot to do that part. You and I met at Seek this year in January. Because of my mom. My mom has started a Blessed Is She group, and she texted me on the way to the conference. I saw that Blessed is She is going to be there. If you see them, will you say hi and tell them about me? And I was, sure, Mother. The first people I see when I walk into Seek are an entire team of women known as Blessed is She, and I met them, talked about my mom. We took a picture, sent it to her. She absolutely loved it. She fell in love with you guys even more. Okay, now, who is Beth Davis that I met at Focus?
Sweet. I love that story so much. I'm Beth Davis. I don't know. I was a youth minister for 11 years before I came over to work full-time with Blessed is She. And now I spend my days building community and helping Catholic women learn how to pray, grow in their relationship with Christ and each other. So, I mean, that's the short version.
What is the 20% longer version? Only 20%, no more, but definitely no less.
Let me think about it. I'm originally from Arizona. When I had a conversion of heart in high school, I grew up at a really vibrant parish. Actually, the home, the birthplace of Life Teen. Had a fantastic youth minister myself, and just I think prior to youth group, even though I'd grown up in the church and loved the Lord, knew a lot about God, I really didn't comprehend that he was a real person that I could have a relationship with. And then I saw that lived out in these leaders and most especially in my youth minister, and just fell in love with Jesus and went away to school. I studied special education. It's all I ever wanted to do from the time I was 5 years old. I declared my major on the first day of college. And then sure enough, by my last semester, I wanted to go into ministry. So praise God, I just had people speak into my life and say, hey, you should do this. You should step out. And I did.
Well, I'm glad I asked you, because whenever I search Beth Davis Catholic, you're still the only person that comes up. So I did not find anything about the other lady, but now we know more about you. So you work at Blessed is She, and we've mentioned Blessed is She on the show before. We talked a little bit about that story in my follow-up episode after Seek 2019. And we were the three of us were talking a little bit before we came onto the show about our knowledge of Blessed is She. Yours is perfect. Mine is now better because I met you at Seek. Father Anthony, what do you know about Blessed is She?
All I know is that Blessed is She is some sort of thing. And that's about it.
Okay. So that's one level of knowledge, and I'm sure maybe two people are the same way as Father Anthony, and there are friends. They're Mr. and Mrs. Beth Davis, the other one. They live under a rock, and somehow found a way to listen to a podcast. And what they agree with Father Anthony. Those are the only ones like that. So here's what I knew about Blessed is She before Seek. I knew that it was a Catholic women's ministry that had tremendously beautiful Instagram posts that made me feel bad about mine.
Come on.
I knew that y'all had like all the women on our staff at Ablaze Ministries. I'm surrounded by women all the time, and they absolutely love Blessed is She. There were like journals, mass journals. I knew about that, but I had no idea of anything else until I met you guys, and then I learned a little bit more. So what you are going to do now is you are going to tell two Catholic men who know very little about Blessed is She, because people need to know about it. Y'all are doing some pretty cool stuff. What is Blessed is She?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Blessed is She is an online Catholic women's ministry, but the heart has always been to get Catholic women together in person in real life. It was born about 4 years ago, really out of a desire of Jenna Gies, our founder and creative director's heart and her experience that, at home with 3 little kids, she was pretty isolated and didn't really have the time to plug into parish ministry if there was parish ministry available for women. And at the time she was blogging. So she just sort of looked online and saw this incredible community of Catholic women blogging, reached out to them and said, hey, I think we should get together and do something. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's going to look like, but would you do it? And a lot of them said yes. So about 4 years ago, the first Blessed is She daily devotion was sent out. And that's really the crux of the ministry. We send out free daily devotions every day to about 60,000 women's inboxes every day. It's got the daily mass readings and then a brief reflection written by one of our 40 writers all over the country. And they just apply the word to their daily life. So our main thing, or two main things, I should say, are prayer and community. We're trying to get women in the word every day. We're trying to get them to share about their faith and scripture with each other. So from there, we kind of branch out into these blessed brunches, these incredible women. It's so crazy to me still that people will sign up to host a brunch. They'll just open their home. We promote it. We share about it in our online regional groups on Facebook. And women just show up. They've never met each other. And they open their home and they show up to a stranger's house and share their faith and eat brunch together. And it's pretty incredible. Sometimes small groups are born. Sometimes, their child's future godmother is in that room. It's just wild, the generosity that these women have, and really the need that Blessed is She filled. So we also share resources to help women create small groups and grow together in small groups. We host retreats all over the country. That's primarily what I do with Blessed is She. We offer video resources, and I don't know, all the things. Essentially, every way that you could want to be involved and connect with people and grow in your faith, we're trying to be there.
Yeah, it's just like essentially this catch-all for Catholic women, which I just absolutely love. And I mean, you did say a number there, and like you gave me a great way to brag on myself. Okay, you said that you send out a daily email to like 60,000 people, and I just want to tell everybody right now that my email list has grown by 3% this year. My unsubscribe rate is almost even with my click rate. I have gone from 101 people this year to 108. Like, I just want to just throw that out there now.
Incredible.
And tell you, I just wanted to let you know how well I'm doing in comparison to you. So,
praise the Lord.
I was thinking two sort of like comments. One, that Taylor Show was not lying. His Instagram page is a hodgepodge of garbage. Sprinkled with really cute pictures of his kids. And so that's the highlight for sure. And then the Blessed is She Instagram page, everything has got this same kind of color scheme and palette. It's very pleasing to the eye. It's very uniform. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. So I want to just affirm that. Second, I think this is it's a trend more and more in the church that when people desire something in ministry, I notice more and more, instead of going to the parish and asking the parish to do something, they just begin to do it themselves. Yeah. And usually, to be perfectly honest, it's usually better than what the parish can come up with or what the diocese can come up with officially. It seems like more and more people are getting together kind of organically and making really amazing things happen. And that sounds like one of the things that Blessed She is doing. You can just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get to pull together resources from people who live, across the country from you. That's the beauty of the internet. And it really, the vision of John Paul II with the new evangelization is that we would harness the power of technology and social media for the good, for the spread of the gospel. So that's really what we're doing. We're just uniting all of the wonderful Catholic women in the world. That's our plan. All
ages. Because that's a little bit like an evil plan then. Like you unite all of them in the world and then you will take over. Acquire all the... No, I'm kidding.
I mean, we want them all. We want them all to come and find community. We want them all to feel like they belong here. We get questions all the time about, is there a group for me? My kids are already in college. Yes, there is a group for you, and it's called Blessed is She. I'm a freshman in college. Is there a group for me? Yep, Blessed is She is your group.
Nice.
So it's beautiful to see all of these women from different stages in life, different ages, especially on retreats, to see them pair up as prayer partners or in small groups and just encourage each other. Because we have the faith in common. We have Christ in common, which is the most important thing, right? So anyway.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So with these live, I didn't know. The biggest thing I didn't know about Blessed is She was that it was all geared towards this community, not only online, which is kind of what I thought, but like these communities in person. Like I didn't know that until my mom started this group, started putting it together at the end of 2018 and like started at the beginning of this year. And they're like, so in my hometown, they are meeting at this like hotel, like bar and grill kind of place on a Thursday night to where like, there's not many other people there. And there have been 40 to 50 women at their first two sessions. Yeah, they've had two.
No.
Yes. It's phenomenal. So they've had, and like I've seen, like my mom has shared stuff with me, but like other women from that community, I've seen them sharing online, and one of them even reached out to me. He's like, "This is awesome," and having this moment of like a lot of these women, like you said, did not think that they had a place anymore because there wasn't, they weren't in youth ministry, they weren't in this young adult thing. Like a lot of like my mom is older than me. That's what we'll say, right? So like I'm just kind of an older woman in the church, and like what, and it's like a lot of people from her age down to my age and older, and they have this place where they can gather. They can in a place that's like non-judgmental, a place where they're all focused on the Lord, and a place where they're all going to like grow in community together, but I'll also go closer to God together. And like the coolest story for me, there's a lady. I grew up in a small town, so there's a lady who has been our waitress at this one restaurant in Lake Jackson since I can remember, like since I was a very small child. I know that sounds weird, but like this lady has like become a part of our family because this is like the one restaurant we went to as a family. Not Catholic, going through some things in her personal life, and she reached out to my mom, she reached out to me, and she said, "Hey, is there more room in this group? Like, I'm not Catholic. Can I come? Like, I'm Christian, but I've been like not away from the church for a while. Can I come?" Absolutely. And she has loved it. She got prayed over by the rest of the women the first night that she was there. And just like this amazing thing at these like in-person communities. And it's just been really cool for me to kind of get to learn it, not only from meeting you guys, but like kind of walking with my mom in this too. It's been neat.
Yeah, it's what a gift. Thanks for sharing that. And actually, that's not super unusual. I think one of the great gifts about Blessed is She, and in particular the online community, is that it gives women like an inroad to check out the church. They might not go to a parish. They don't have somebody to sit with that mass. Maybe they're intimidated to even explore Catholicism or return to the church after years. But if they get in this regional online group, they can say, "Hey, I want to dip my toes back in this." And then to be just overwhelmed with women saying, "Welcome, you belong here. Thanks for sharing." It's so cool. I love your mom's a rock star. My hero. She prayed over somebody. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. And the first time that I'm ever going to be involved in a Blessed is She event, my mom has booked me to come lead worship for her event. So I'm going down to lead worship for the last one of like their spring semester. It's going to be a blast.
How much are you charging your mom to do this?
I told her what I usually charge, and she said, I've supported you my entire life. And I said, okay, I'll do it for free.
I want to come to your mom's group. That's amazing.
Do it. I'll text you the date that I'm going to be there. That's the one date you'll not want to be there. And all the rest of the dates, you can go and have a blast. So cool. we're coming to the end of our time here with you. I want you to let people know how they can get involved with Blessed is She. Where do they go? How can they follow you on an Instagram that is apparently 18,000 times better than mine?
Absolutely. The best place to check out Blessed is She is the website. That's the catch-all, blessedisshe.net. You can sign up to receive the daily devotions there. You can sign up to host a brunch. You can find video resources, our beautiful shop with products like the Lent or Advent devotional or yearly calendar planners. You can find all of that stuff there. Additionally, if you're just on any social media platform, you'll find us there. So Instagram is probably our most beautiful, most popular way to engage with people. And that's just Blessed is She with 2 underscores. So you can find us there. We're always getting on live. You saw us there today. We've got stuff in the evenings trying to build community there, but it's just a beautiful, encouraging place to be on the internet. Kind of interrupts that scroll, right? Just comparison or whatever have you. And you see something beautiful, something that points you to Christ. So we're on Facebook. Again, we've got these regional groups for all women, ages 18 and over. Don't even have to be Catholic. You can just come and you are very welcome.
Well, good. I want to thank you so much for your time. Father Anthony, do you feel better now that you know more about Blessed is She?
Yeah, and to be very honest, I'm always encouraged by hearing about groups like this. It's just good because that's what we want. I mean, as a priest, seeing people get together to grow in community, grow in love of the Lord, to welcome people in, I'm like, yes, good, keep doing that. blessings, keep going. Yes. So it's really good to hear about.
Oh, great. Hey, Beth, thanks so much for coming on. Guys, go check it out. Blessed is She everywhere on the internet. And when we come back, Father Anthony and I are going to talk about how Lent has been going. We're going to decide whether or not I have done any of my Lenten promises very well. We'll see what Father Anthony's doing. We'll be right back. Don't go anywheres. Welcome back to our final segment of today's Forte Catholic. Seeing Father Anthony dance to this music is the only reason I would consider ever doing a video version of this show, because it is just tremendous, my friends. Father Anthony,
a little overrated.
On a scale from 1 to 17 and a half, how would you rate your dancing skills?
In real life?
No, in a video game. Yes, in real life.
Well, probably like a 15.
Really?
Yeah, to be honest.
Are you really that good, or are you just prideful?
Yeah, like I don't know like choreography or like dance moves or stuff, but yeah. So much so that
if there was an offer that they needed a priest for Step Up 7, would you consider putting your name in the ring?
Not even for a second. As much as I like to play up how much I love attention, and there's part of me that does, the last thing I want to be is like the dancing priest, because that is gross.
Okay.
I don't need that.
I like a few of our dancing priests. I think Father Paddling Hug is amazing.
I said what I said. I don't want to be known as the dancing priest, okay? I'm already known as a priest who spends too much time on Twitter. I don't need any other goofy titles, right?
Do you watch The Office?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be a guy. Like, I don't want to be and he's like, Ryan started the fire. Now he's the fire guy.
Now he's fire, exactly. Yes. You do little things like, oh, how do I differentiate this priest? Because they're all the same. Oh, this one's the dancing priest. Like, no.
If I had any social media clout, I would just run a campaign right now talking about Father Anthony, the dancing priest. But if I did that, I would only get like 3 likes and maybe 1 retweet, and that'd be like by somebody who could count as an egg.
Yes, that is true.
So here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to talk about the old Lent. Last week, I did an episode that was entitled Our Second Annual Limping into Lent, because I always seem to be doing just that. So first question for you, Padre Anthony.
Yes.
We are currently in day 7 of Lent as we are recording this. Over, under 2.5. How many days do you think, over 2.5 days, under 2.5 days, that I have completed all of my Lenten promises?
Oh man, I'm gonna go over, but because I think you probably went 3 days.
Okay. To be completely fair, the reason that I said 2.5 is because as we are recording this, it has been 2.5 because we are half.
Okay.
No. So I think you're right. We are halfway through today, and I have done half of my Lenten promises, and we'll see how the rest of the day goes. So either way, whether at the end of today it is 2 or 3, that is pathetic. Okay. So what I am doing is lots of things. See, people that listened last week thought I was going to say something. One of the things that we did was I let the audience put suggestions in for what I should do for Lent. 96% of them were stupid. One was pretty good, and that was the one like raise money to by shaving your beard. That thing. We talked about that earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to come up with the rest on my own. So I'm doing maybe 7, 8 other things, like kind of minor things that all lead up to one.
That is too many things.
Well, most of them, I'm going to start giving hints. Most of them are like lifestyle changes that I should be doing anyway. It's not like extra things, okay? Like stop sinning is like one of them is in that category in a certain area of sin. Like I'm not really giving it up. I should just be like, this is a time where you should stop doing that thing that would probably send you to hell.
Okay, yes. So definitely stop clubbing baby seals. That's enough of that.
I didn't give that up this year. I thought it'd be too much.
Oh, really? I was really hoping you would, because it's been getting awkward to be your friends. Father Anthony, you want to go out clubbing baby seals? No, Taylor, I never want to do that thing. Stop asking me.
If this was the Clerically Speaking podcast, we would break right now, and Nick Sciarappa would come in and say, this is a PSA saying Taylor does not actually beat baby seals. This is all a joke, like most of his life.
It was a joke. It was a bit.
Yeah, okay. So, what are you doing for Lent, Mr. Holy Priest?
Ooh, apparently being a loser. I have not had a great start to my Lent.
So wait. Over under 2.5 days, everything that you said that you were going to be doing.
It's hard to tell. I mean, right now to be under, but like I did not make any firm resolutions. Like I'm going to do this thing. The thing is, I'm going to meet with my spiritual director tomorrow. And then kind of like, I don't like to do things without running it past him anymore, which is a really great excuse, just so you know. But I've had like the vague idea to wake up when my alarm starts and not to like, hit the snooze button. The one thing I am doing, I have tweeted far less. I've been far less on social media, so that's been good. And then the big thing I said was I'm going to pray my Liturgy of the Hours, the daily prayer I pray every day, only using the book and not using an app. But I've used the app like 1,000 times. So it's not been great on those aspects. I've had a weak sauce Lent so far, which is just a reminder that I need to throw myself at the feet of God's mercy, that I am a sinner. Without him, I can do nothing. So this is a good thing, that I can learn more about how much God loves me, even though I'm terrible at stuff.
Okay, so all of this episode, you have already started the response to like what I'm going to say next. I have something to say right now. No. It's been a good thing. Like you have preempted my strikes at you is essentially what I'm saying, right? I'm about to strike. What after everything that you just said, I'm just going to give you a chance to respond. How am I going to respond to you right now?
You're going to, I don't know, do your fun high pitched laugh at how I'm not as good of a priest as I should be, and I'll be kind of I'll smile, but I'll be crying on the inside, and we'll just keep doing the podcast, and I'll just question our friendship over and over again, and but hopefully it'll make great content, and we'll just keep on going.
So this is like every show that we've done together,
yeah,
and
Taylor, you're the best. I love you, Taylor.
So what's great is I totally did not want to do that high-pitched laugh, and I held it back as long as I could, and then I couldn't stop it anymore. So, no, what I was going to say was, I said what I was doing for Lent, and you said, oh, no, that's way too much, as this, like, holy priest that said, like, you shouldn't be doing too many things or you'll fail, #Exodus90. But after we heard what you were doing for Lent, we heard the real issue going on with you. The real issue is you would have been mad if I did one thing for Lent because you're not doing anything.
I was very proud of you and even more ashamed of me. You remember back when you were in school and you'd ask your buddy or whatever, like, oh, did you finish that paper yet? And it's like due in a few, next day. And they're like, no, I didn't finish. I didn't even start. And even though your situation is exactly the same, because someone else is failing next to you, you feel better about it.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
And that's how I feel right now. I feel so much better that you are doing a little bit worse than me this Lent. That shouldn't be how our friendship should be, but it's how I am as a person, and I'll fix that next Lent. Okay. So, some of the things that I'm doing, I want to talk to you about, because I've heard it involves the category of health and wellness. Okay. So I have seen every year around Lent, I see quotes like, Lent is not a time for being a better person. It's a time for growing in holiness. Lent is not a time to lose weight. It's a time for getting closer to God. Lent is not a time for being the best version of yourself, but being who God created you to be. Like that last one. Yeah. Do what?
Yeah, I preached on all that.
Okay. So here's my question though. Okay. Can you list off the 7 deadly sins? Do as many as you can.
Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, pride.
Yep. You can stop now if you'd like, because you said the 2 that I wanted you to. I want to get you off.
At least 5.
I'm going to get you off the hook, like all the fish Peter tried to catch without Jesus. So, in my life, these are called 7 deadly sins. One of mine is gluttony. The other is sloth. Some of those things involve not working out and not eating well. So my question to people who I have seen post things like this, you're not being the better version of yourself, but growing in holiness. Like, how do we bring these 2 things together? Like, Taylor is a sloth and a glutton and weighs too much and still continues patterns of not working out and patterns of not eating well. So why, in this season of trying to get rid of sin, if that's something that I'm sinning in, why can't I do some things like eating better and working out as part of my Lenten promises to grow close to God? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I get where people are coming from, but I've had that rub. It's like, if that's my issue or anybody's issue, how do we put those things together?
Yeah, so I think the idea is, what is your intention? It's not the things you're doing. It's like simple wellness things. For doing them for Lent, I think is actually a good thing. So if you never work out, working out for Lent is a good thing. But why are you doing it? And what is the spirit you're doing it in? So if I'm just working out just so I can get fit, just so I like the way I look in the mirror and other people can compliment me, that's a vain, prideful sort of thing. But if you're doing it because, like, Lord, if I were to work out more, if I were to exercise more and take care of myself, one, I'm taking care of what you have given me. But also, this gives me eventually, like, more energy to pray, more focus to be with you. It will help me from falling into other habits of sin, because sometimes sloth will lead to other kinds of sin as well. So, like, that's why I'm doing this, Lord. And even that conversation, having it with God. So the idea is that you're doing these things like you do all things, like in Christ and with Christ. So they might be very simple by themselves and might seem kind of almost silly. Like, oh, you should be doing this just to be a good, like, human being. But what changes them is if you're doing with Christ, for Christ, in Christ. So I think that's the thing.
That makes me feel better. And all I really wanted was to be able to yell at people that say, it's not about losing weight. I just wanted to yell at them and say that I had a priest blessing. Thank you for that. No, for real though. It's just been this thing that I've been kind of wrestling with, because, like, a lot of times people say things on social media or on podcasts or radio or whatever, and don't think about the implications of it for people. Because it's like, I've seen that and, like, well, that sucks that people think that that I'm not a good person because I'm trying to be a better person in these areas. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, that's how Lent is going. We're out of time, Father Anthony.
Really? It's gone by so quickly.
It has gone by so quickly. You know what won't go by quickly? Lent. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, Father. I'm going to text you this time next week, and I'll say, did the spiritual direction work? And I want to see you do at least 4 days of your Lenten promises over the next 7. Does that sound like a deal?
That's, like, legit a very good accountability thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I will do that. Hey, Siri, remind me in 7 days to text Father Anthony about being a better person and a better priest. Thanks so much for coming on today, Padre. Guys, we will be back next week. See ya!